is Montpelier School Superintendent Brian Ricca. This morning at about shortly after 9:30 in the morning, we received word of a robbery in progress at the Vermont State Employees Credit Union in Montpelier on Bailey Avenue. Immediately following, during our response to that robbery, the suspect was identified and contained in an area by the football field at the Montpelier High School. At that point, the school was notified. The school was put into a lockdown, lockout mode, and I'll have Superintendent Rick explain what happened there. What's important is that the threat is over, and there was a shooting involving law enforcement, and that the suspect is deceased. And at this point, also requested from early on resources from the Vermont State Police. And I'd like to turn over to Colonel Matt Birmingham right now.
Good afternoon. We were notified by Montpelier Police Department shortly after the incident occurred. We dispatched troopers from the Middlesex Barracks as well as our tactical support unit and our crisis negotiation team. They did respond to the scene. We are now in investigation mode. Our major crime unit and our crime scene search team have been activated, and we are treating this as an officer-involved shooting, and we'll investigate it as such at this point. We'll be working with the Montpelier Police Department in conducting that investigation. And I have no further details on it at this time. Thank you.
Good afternoon. At approximately 9:45, we were notified that there was a suspect in an alleged armed robbery that was contained at the bleachers of Montpelier High School. The decision was made to initiate a procedure called lockdown, lockout. Since the suspect was contained entirely outside the building, the safest place for our students, faculty, and staff was inside the building. I was able to get one Power School announcement out to our families at 10:30, letting them know the situation, and a subsequent one once the lockdown was lifted, which was at approximately 11:50. Again, because the threat was contained entirely outside of the building, we made the decision to keep all of our students, faculty, and staff inside the building. The police department had set up a perimeter. No one was allowed in or out. The students went into an all-school assembly a little bit before noon with the high school principal, Mike McCraith, and we were going to try to have a reasonably normal remainder of the school day. Twice during the incident, I was able to touch base with both the principal of the elementary school and the middle school to let them know of our status at the high school. Again, since the threat was contained entirely at the high school, neither the elementary school nor the middle school was put on any restricted status. Both principals were made aware of the situation, and I recently contacted them to let them know that the situation was over at the high school, and all of us are hopefully going to try to have a reasonably normal remainder of the day.
Because this is a very active and complex investigation, because of the officer involved aspect of it, as well as result of an armed robbery investigation, and a lot of work needs to be done. So because of that, we are unable to answer any other questions or provide any other details at this time. I will put word out for a follow-up press conference at a later time today if we're able to put out any additional details. Thank you very much for coming.
Can you give us some history? Like the last time there was an officer involved shooting?
Just to follow up, the chief said the major crime unit will take over the investigation. Major Glenn Hall is the lead on this, and we will do our best to get out as thorough and detailed a release as we can at that time later today, and we cannot provide any more details right now. Thank you.
Any officers hurt?
No officers were hurt at this time. Thank you.